You've probably heard the phrase before, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is overrated. It's one of those phrases that gets dropped into every Power Rangers discussion sooner or later. Some fans are just done with it. The same helmets, the same suits, the same nostalgia being recycled again and again. But here's the thing, not everyone agrees with that. The Mighty Morphin era isn't just the beginning of the franchise, it's the face of the franchise. So why is it like the most divisive era of them all? I'm going to break down why so many people hate Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and why some people still love it. So let's start with the obvious, some fans just don't like it, and honestly that's fair. If you watched any of the 30 plus seasons of Power Rangers, you know that a lot of the later entries, Time Force, RPM, Dino Charge, even Beast Morphers, have tighter writing, deeper character arcs, and way more complex storytelling than Mighty Morphin. Compared to those, the original series can look a lot cheesier than the franchise already is. It was a 1990s adaptation of a Japanese kids show spliced with American high school drama footage. It was colourful and campy, but also arguably for a much younger audience. And if you don't vibe with that, then that's completely valid. But where the hate really comes from is that if you are a fan of Power Rangers but not Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you really can't escape it. Because the brand keeps returning to it over and over and over again. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers debuted in 1993 and technically ended in 1996, but the storyline, and more importantly the cast, didn't really end until a few years later. And after that, it just kept coming back. In 1998, Adam appears in Power Rangers in Space. In 2002, Forever Red brings back Jason, Tommy, and even Bulk and Skull. In 2004, Tommy returns as a mentor in Dino Thunder, complete with dino-themed nostalgia. 2007 sees Adam and Alpha 6 come back for the 15th anniversary. In 2011, Samurai reuses the classic theme song and even sneaks Bulk and Skull in again. In 2013, Megaforce and Super Megaforce go all in on nostalgia, and Tommy ends up being the front of the legendary battle. In 2017, there is a full-on movie reboot of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. In 2018, Dimensions in Danger features Tommy, Cat, and Rocky, once again with Tommy getting most of the story. In 2020, Jason returns in Power Rangers Beast Morphers along with other retro Dino Rangers. And in 2023, Billy and Lord Zed are regulars in Cosmic Fury. Plus, we got a full reunion special for Mighty Morphin on Netflix. Since 1995, we've not gone more than 4 years without some return of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's wild. And for long-time fans, it can start to feel like the franchise is just in this endless loop over and over again. But it's not just the shows. It's the toys and everything else that comes under that category, the merchandise. In 2012-2013, the Legacy line started and it just kind of went downhill from this point. Bandai, Hasbro, Super 7, Funko, Tubbs, Loot Crate, if it can be molded, printed or painted, there's probably a Mighty Morphin version of it. Morphers, Zords, helmets, statues, pins, you name it, they've made it. When meanwhile other seasons go barely touched. Some seasons don't even get full toy sets when Mighty Morphin are getting new figures every couple of months. Even the Lightning Collection, which was meant to celebrate every season, every era of the show, kinda just turned into rehashes of Mighty Morphin. We had several full teams of Mighty Morphin Rangers, Mighty Morphin collabs with Ninja Turtles and Cobra Kai. And then despite having regular Mighty Morphin, metallic Mighty Morphin, translucent Mighty Morphin, shiny Mighty Morphin, we then had reimagined Mighty Morphin and updated Mighty Morphin. So when we started off, we only actually had Tommy and Lord Zed, and I believe there was like Dino Charge and like 2 other figures in the wave. And then as we go on, we start to fill things out. It's fine, we get another Zed before we get the Blue Ranger, but eventually, we started filling up. We got comic book figures. They were great. Alpha 5 and the Zordon set, a Morpher. All of this stuff is pretty cool. There's 2 more Green Rangers there, but that's chill. There's another White Ranger. There's some metallic Rangers, more metallic Rangers. 2 packs, updated figures, updated boxes, Ninja Turtle 2 packs. There's a lot of Mighty Morphin going on here. I mean, we don't even have Mystic Force, there's no Jungle Fury, there's no Operation Overdrive, no Ninja Storm. So I choose something like Wild Force. We've got the Blue Ranger, 2 separate Lunar Wolf Rangers, and a Putrid. No yellow, no white, no black, no red. What's going on? And then when the Lightning Collection went on hiatus, which realistically means ended, we had Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition. Another new line of figures that, while hints at eventually including more seasons, clearly puts us in for another like 4 or 5 years of Mighty Morphin toys. Potentially a dream for some collectors. Deja vu for most other fans. And this is where the burnout really kicks in. If you grew up with SPD, Time Force or Mystic Force, it's hard not to feel left out when every celebration of the franchise ends up circling back to the same 6 helmets from 1993. It's not just fatigue, it's a feeling of complete erasure, as if the rest of the franchise doesn't matter as much as Mighty Morphin. When the 2017 reboot dropped, fans hoped for something bold and new, but it was still Mighty Morphin, the cancelled Netflix show that was in development, reportedly centered on Tommy Oliver again. Even the comics, which for the most part are brilliant by the way, are very Mighty Morphin centric, and the ones that aren't Mighty Morphin centric still find a way to include, reference, or talk about Mighty Morphin. And now, in the 2020s, we're seeing MMPR-inspired YouTube shows, fan projects, and it's the Ninja Kids series that has really pissed people off with going back to Mighty Morphin. Personally, I'm very excited for that. It's not for the older fans. That's what we're getting in the Disney Plus show coming up, which, I'll be honest, whilst at first wasn't meant to be Mighty Morphin, could turn round to be Mighty Morphin, but it's everywhere. Which means when you're a fan of shows like Dino Thunder or Jungle Fury, it just feels like the show you love is never going to be in the spotlight as much as the original. And when you look at it at the end of the day, that isn't hate, that's just exhaustion. Fans aren't angry because Mighty Morphin is bad, they're angry because they keep getting told it's the only one that exists. But, and there's always a but, this is the flip side of the whole situation. To a more general audience, Mighty Morphin is Power Rangers. That's what people remember from Saturday morning television, lunchboxes, action figures, and what they used to play on the playground. The helmets, the colours, that unforgettable Go-Go Power Rangers theme, it's burned into pop culture. It's the bat signal of the franchise. Even people who never watched it typically know of the Mighty Morphin season. So whilst hardcore fans want evolution, Hasbro and the studios behind the brand keep going back to what sells. Nostalgia. It's safe, it's familiar, and at the end of the day, it's profit. And from a business point of view, it does kind of make sense, although I don't really know how well the Reignition toys are selling. I'm seeing a lot of clearance. And the truth is, the franchise has only ever really been mainstream twice, back in 1993 and with the 2017 movie. And so when corporate then meets pattern, it's not hard to understand why they keep dusting off the same 6 helmets. And I emphasize 6 because you even struggle to see the White Ranger these days. I mean, Reignition hasn't done it yet. Which actually, now that I think about it, I talk about Power Rangers not being in mainstream more than twice. I guess now with them being in Fortnite, that could potentially be a third, but it's still Mighty Morphin. So why do people hate Mighty Morphin? Because it never really left. We never got a break from it. It's the most loved, most iconic, and most overused part of the entire franchise. For every fan humming the theme song under their breath, there's another fan rolling their eyes because they've just seen another Mighty Morphin Green Ranger in their local shop. But at the end of the day, whether you're burnt out or still very nostalgic about the brand, there is one thing that is certain. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers isn't just a show, it's a legacy of a franchise. A double-edged sword of nostalgia and overexposure that refuses to fade away. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and what side you're on. The reason I made this video is because I would mention in a couple of videos that people don't like MMPR, and the comments would be flooded with people saying, how come people don't like MMPR? I love that show. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what the take is in the comments. And if you made it this far in the video, comment the words legacy in the comments so I know who made it to the end and who didn't. Huge thank you and shout out to Sarah Jane, Eric Leutz and Sam James, our Super Dino Mode patrons.